Hey everyone. I hope you're enjoying your snow day. Just doing this from home today, just sitting on the laptop. It's snowing pretty good, as everyone in the area knows. And I still wanted to keep up with doing these. Apologize for my appearance. I got up early and did my thing. I already went out, shoveled a little bit, and just sitting in the office now, trying to get some work done. What's up, Pat? How you doing, buddy? Um, so one of the questions I get a lot of times is, "Hey doc, what's this popping sound that I hear?" Or sometimes people will be actually scared of the popping sound that they get when either we work on their back or they might be cracking their knuckles or something like that. So really, there's a lot of technical, scientific reasons why the sound is there. It's gases going into solution, nitrogen, oxygen going into solution in a synovial joint. All that means is that when you have two joint surfaces that come together, like the fingers, for example, or any of the joints in the spine, like the disc joint or the facet joint, they're encapsulated by a synovium, which is a capsule that goes around the whole joint. So it covers both sides, and there's fluid in there, and it allows for gliding and good, easy movement and fluid movement throughout your whole body. So you want to keep that as healthy as possible. And when you move two of those joint surfaces away from one another, like when you crack your knuckles, for example, you will get that popping sound as an air bubble is actually created. So when it comes to chiropractic care, one of the important things that we look for is, if I'm trying to make a difference in the alignment of the spine, I have to move one vertebra compared to, say, another vertebra. The alignment is already off. I need it to move away from the other. So I need to change the actual relationship between the two segments. So for me, it's important to get that sound while adjusting someone's spine, because that means I have actually made a difference in the relationship between the two segments. And I know that the alignment has been altered. As long as I'm pushing in the right direction, it'll be altered for the better. So that is the popping sound. It's nothing to be scared of. For me, I make sure that we are getting that. You can imagine if there's a degenerative joint where there's a lot less fluid and there's a lot less joint space, the sound would be much smaller, more muffled, and you're not going to hear it as much. So I look to make sure we're trying to get that sound almost every single adjustment with our patients, unless there's specific conditions where I know I'm not going to get it. If you're doing that in particular, in relationship to a joint, you know that you're not going to be able to get that sound for a certain amount of time. It takes a little bit longer for the joint to, basically reload, or for that air to that gas to go back out of the solution. So you can't do it. You can't repeatedly do it over and over and over again. The same way you can't keep cracking your knuckles repeatedly. So you can only do it every so often. It's not a bad thing unless you're doing it habitually, like 30, 40, 50 times a day. That has been shown to increase some more of the degenerative stuff. So you don't want to be a habitual neck cracker, the people that do this kind of stuff, or also with your hands and your feet and things of that nature. There are times where you'll get sounds other than the joint surfaces moving away from one another that either sound like, or people will get confused with, the sound. So one is, like, say, the shoulder. If you keep moving your shoulder, you keep hearing like a popping or a clicking or something. Usually what that is one of the soft tissue, either muscles, the tendons, or the ligaments rolling over across, like part of a bone or a joint or something like that. If you can keep making it happen over and over and over again, it's likely not the joints being moved away from one another, like the joints cracking in your fingers or something like that. So it's more likely, a ligament rolling over across something, and it just keeps hitting it every time you do it. So That's there. You can get that. And then also you can get decrepitous, which is where you have a lot of degenerative changes. And I think someone just turned the water on above me, so sorry for the background noise. But decrepitous is where, you know, if you have a lot of degeneration in the spine, that will cause like a lot of popping and cracking, and people will call that like Rice Krispies that they'll hear in their neck, or any other parts of this, any other joints that have a lot of degeneration. So that can happen there too. So I hope you got a lot out of this. If you have any questions, just post them in the comment section. I'll try to get to them. Enjoy your time with the family. And if you saw my post earlier, the snow is really heavy today. So take your time, get a snowblower or ask someone else to do it, or call the plow company, as one of my buddies said earlier. So enjoy the day and stay safe. See ya.